Check.
Don't see it on my Twitch following.
Okay, we're trying to. I'm trying this
Like, it's
one.
not gonna show immediately. Like, the
Yeah.
only reason why I'd be able to do it is because I'm on the mod screen.
Oh, thank you.
So fall as they may.
Okay, I see
Okay, so
it.
it says that we're live one more time. So I can see our stream. I have my phone set up to be my mobile data. Okay.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. We've been live for
Alright.
45 seconds.
We're gonna try this one more time, and if it dies out again, then no one's gonna see this.
Yeah.
So, Mayor of Daytona, you cannot see his room.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Was that all the questions you had for him?
It's all mine.
Okay.
Anyone else? I feel like I didn't
Chris?
get a
I was gonna
comprehensive list, but I couldn't think of anything else.
I mean, I was gonna say still follow up the follow-up question of why not.
Because that's still his private chambers.
So, if there's even a chance, like, there's something left behind, or if there's a clue that's like, oh, please don't shoot me at my left butt cheek because that's my weak spot. I don't know.
I have thoroughly searched his chambers for any sort of information that I could find.
This is another question that you might not want to answer. So I absolutely understand if you say that you do not have this info, whether or not you do. But the House of Winter must keep an eye on anything that could be a danger to its members. A sword that is particularly good against the House of Winter or that sort of thing. Because obviously your enemies could use it against you. Are there any such that you are aware of that are on the scale where you might be willing to let us know about it so that we can get it for the purpose of disabling him enough to where he reappears here and you can do your remake him in a better, more useful image?
In terms of, I'm sorry. I actually wasn't Eric was not clear on the purpose of the question.
Big weapon, go boom against
Do you
Winterhouse.
have any weapons that might be
Weapon or resource or magic, something that you
Any
know
weakness.
of, that you're aware of, and would be willing to let us know.
Well, there's plenty. If your friend there is willing to part with his shovel, I could give him something that would be very useful.
Sure.
One moment, I'll reach under the table. Ding 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 ding. And ring a bell, and you will watch as there is a quick puff of smoke, of icy smoke, and a small imp will appear, and he'll say, "Please go to the armory, fetch this box for me," and he'll write it down and hand it over to the imp. Imp will look at it. Yes, master. And he'll fly off. As the imp flies off, you guys will hear You guys will hear the stomping of feet. Boom, 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 boom. And as you look back, you will see a very, very odd-looking lemur. This one actually has like feet, as opposed to just being a blob. He'll come over. Boom, 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 boom. He's holding a tray. He will serve each of you your stew.
You.
Come over, serve Malteris. Give a bow before leaving. You guys wait for a moment, just kind of, food's here, so you I'm assuming you guys cautiously taste it.
Yeah. Is it good?
It's very good. Like it's better than any stew Goo has made.
Ooh, that's pretty good stew.
Ooh, stew.
Ooh.
There are a few that can best the goo stew.
Well, I mean, Goo's really the only person. Oh no, I guess you guys had it in the Empire. It's perhaps a little bit better than when you guys were guests for the Emperor. It's about on par.
Cool.
It's about on par. A couple minutes pass, and eventually you will see the imp fly in. You hear a lot of panting as you watch as it's carrying a box that is more than twice the size of it. It'll like reach up, gently lay it on the table. There you go, master. And flies out. And then you will hear as something just fell to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Poor little man.
Poor little man. Okay, well, and we're good so far, by the way. So,
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the stream.
Mhm.
He will go ahead and open the box, which is a very, very nice dark wood box. And as he pushes it open, you see a number of symbols carved into the top of the box. And as he opens it fully, inside you will see what appears to be a glaive that has filigree that runs down that almost looks like blood that runs all the way down the hilt into the base, where it kind of extends outward into a series of claws that kind of form the bottom. And towards the top, you see what looks like a singular eye that is put into a very large and crooked blade, with more of that fiery, blood-like filigree that runs through it. And you will,
It's so fucking epic.
you'll take it out, lay it on the table from you. Go.
Hell of a craft.
Oh, it should be. It's specially designed with devil's blood in mind. Though it is probably not as eccentric as what you hold. This is a glaive that was specially created for hunting devils. It will, no doubt, serve your purpose. This is a devil's bane glaive. I'm trying to
Thank you.
I'm trying to refine the exact. 1 second, sorry. I'm trying to find the exact bonuses of it. In terms of beyond its pluses. Similar to unlike your current glaive, this glaive it's only a +1 to attack and damage rolls. However, when you hit a devil with it, you do an additional 3d6 damage.
That's not bad. Is that
That's
once
pretty
per?
good.
Is that a hard once per turn, or is it just when you hit?
Let me see. I believe it's whenever you hit.
That's pretty good.
Jesus Christ.
I felt it was a long shot, but man, I'm glad I asked.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you hit a devil with this weapon, the devil takes an extra 3d6 damage of the weapon's type.
Yay!
I know it is probably not as eccentric as what you currently hold, but for the sake of this, consider it a loan.
Gladly accepted.
I don't believe it's attunement. Let me double check. I believe it's just if you hold it. It is not attunement.
Hey!
I was just double checking. I was sure it wasn't, but I had to make sure. Is there any other questions you might have for me beyond weaponry? I have things to give you, yes, but if there's any other things that you wish to know.
When did he first come in contact with the Fifth?
Shortly after the First War. It was... We were not... Again, this is difficult to explain in a short time. The First War amongst the Five, we were moderately involved, into the sense that we offered support to our allies, and a couple of us attempted to join the fray. Tremor had no interest, at least not at first, though he relished in the idea of getting to fight alongside that which created us. He, as I stated previously, was always one for diplomacy. I think it was about 100 years after the war that Tremor began hearing these whispers, as he called them. And of course, he's not a daft individual. Anyone can understand that when something is talking to you, it can mean one of two things. For Tremor, however, he spent time conducting research, speaking with the voices in his mind, and gaining a better understanding of what it was exactly that was being asked, and through his interpretations, he made his conclusion that our world is in the state that it's in because the Fifth is trapped here. And do not get this mistaken. He does worship the Fifth, but it is not in the same sort of worship as you do your gods. It is more out of an understanding that the Fifth is something more powerful than him, and the faith that he holds comes from the understanding of its strength, knowing that there's nothing he could do on his own against it.
So it quite potentially just pestered him until he eventually broke down?
I wouldn't say that. He never showed any signs of being worn out. He is inherently an incredibly patient individual. Though when it comes to things that directly interfere with his goals, that is where his patience begins to wane. He never had any stake in this until he put himself in it, so I doubt he lost his mind to what he was hearing. This was merely what he in his wisdom was able to glean. And it wasn't until much later, I think it was another 70 or 80 years before he began any sort of planning. It took quite some convincing.
I think all of the questions I had were answered. People. Do you really not have any idea what will happen to me? All eating a soul?
Genuinely, I don't. I've never seen a mortal ingest a soul before. I genuinely have no idea what it'll do to you. If anything.
Well, I got nothing.
Well, I would like to thank you all for coming and speaking with me then. And he looks over at you, Nathan. We need to do something about you. He'll clap his hands, and you'll see 3 more imps appear. He'll write something down on a piece of paper and hands it over to them. Understand, everything I give you today is a loaned item. I expect these to be returned to me. If you die, I will recover them myself.
Seems fair.
You
But the
are a
fact that
sponsor, after all.
Don't worry about the fact if we die, that's more than just us that will not be there.
Oh, I will let my next of kin know that these items are to be returned to sender. I'm not getting involved in an estate dispute over magically lent items, even from a house so esteemed as yours. Estate disputes are nasty. Not doing it.
So do we just call for you when we're finished with this, or?
I'll know. There's...
enough.
I don't know how... I suppose you're not as attuned to it, but... Our households are innately more... I can't even really say influenced. We're more perceptive of the weave and magic in itself, and as of right now, it's hitting a very dire state. Once the 5th has been removed, I presume healing will begin, and I will know that your task has been completed. As he's saying this, there's a few moments that pass where you start to hear, why is this fucking thing so heavy? Just shut up. Lift it. And you will see the doors open again, and you will watch as those 3 imps that he sent off are carrying not a big crate by any means. It's enough that they all kind of have their hands interlaced underneath it, but it seems to be heavy. I bring it inside, and he'll walk over, kind of take a moment before opening it, sending the imps off without really much of a word, more of a wave of the hand. Alright, so let me get my list out real quick, because I do have a list. Okay? Boys?
Okay.
Alright.
I am the dog.
I am dog.
Okay.
Alright.
Daggy.
One moment. Phone's being a little bit slow. We are good.
All right.
Dog with a
Is it the
good
Comcast phone?
No, it's actually my mobile data, which makes sense because I'm indoors, so it would be a little bit slower.
Wait, why are you using mobile data instead of Wi-Fi? Oh, because connection.
Gee, David, I wonder why.
They're probably not downloading any more stuff, Eric.
Gee, David, why would I do that?
You want to do things.
It's probably fine to connect already.
Now I will point this out. I cannot touch one of these items.
You specifically.
None of us can. Well, at least nobody in the Nine Hells can.
That
It came into my possession from a mutual benefactor in the Feywild. Though how they got a hold of it, I don't know. Cleric of Denir, come here really quickly.
Oh, come here really quickly.
I'll let you come.
So this has...
Jordan.
I'm sorry.
Just the way you said that. Go on, Eric.
So, this is a powerful item, but I will let you know that its secondary abilities were long since removed for the safety of the household. He will open the crate and motion to a golden box.
Ooh. I'll take the golden box.
Okay. As you hold on to it, the very box itself begins to glow, and so do you.
Ooh. What?
Let me get an exact picture of this so I can describe it to you perfectly.
Perfectly.
Perfectly. Alright. So, as you open the box, there is a bright glow coming from it that is almost as intense as looking into the sun.
Ooh.
And you're kind of like, oh god, what is... You'll reach in, and your hands grab onto something of a weird form that almost becomes solid in your hands. You see, Malteris is just kind of looking away at this point. And as you kind of pull this item out, it shines for a moment before going still and becoming a symbol of Denir. But a brilliant gold with sapphires embedded all around it. Not as powerful as it, but this is essentially a lesser talisman of pure good.
Oh.
It, as said, the properties of it in terms of allowing you to fissure someone were removed for the sake of the household. But whenever you use the talisman in your spellcasting, you get a +2 to your attacks and damage rolls. This bonus carries over to the bonus to damage carries over to healing and area of effect spells.
+2 to attacks and damage spells, healing spells, AoE.
Correct. So
Pretty
basically,
good.
+2 to everything for your spellcasting.
Okay. Swag.
He can't touch it because if he did, he would take a lot of radiant damage.
Fine.
Yeah. So just a little something to just help you get that little extra oomph from your spells.
Yeah.
It's amazing that legend, or I guess this would more or less be considered an epic item at this point. It's not really a legend. The legendary aspect of it was kind of ripped away from it. Nathan, as you are kind of sitting there, he'll reach in and he'll grab a bundle, like a very nicely packed bundle of items, and he'll set them down in front of you. It is wrapped in a cloth.
Nathan will unwrap it, kind of carefully, not to break seals too badly, but
So the first thing that you will see is a very plain-looking dark iron bar. A staff, almost, kind of a staff, but more, a bit shorter. Not so large that it would take two hands to work with. You could hold it comfortably in one hand. The second thing that lays there is a very, very beautiful looking ring. And the final thing that is there is a small stone about that big. You can make an Arcana check if you'd like to discern these. But I could also just tell you if you'd rather me just tell you.
I'm tempted to do the Arcana check just for funsies.
Sure.
That was not great. 20?
20? That was not great. 20.
Look, it was a 5 on the die!
The ring is just a ring of protection, but it is a +3 ring of protection.
Ooh.
The stone is an iron stone of leadership. It boosts your charisma. And the staff, as you kind of reach out and take it in your hand, there is an immediate flood of energy that goes into your body. And you feel what kind of feels like something kind of just reassuredly kind of giving you a grip on your shoulder. This is a Rod of the Pact Keeper +3. This is why all of these items are loans, by the way. I'm essentially kidding you guys out here.
Yes.
Now I get to keep these items.
No, I understand that.
Well, I mean, by the time we have to return them, the campaign will be over.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Please,
like,
God, let me be able to retire and just document the return of wildflowers for the next 300 years or however long they live.
I don't want to
know they
mess
don't
with the
live that long.
demonic IRS. I'm not accepting that.
The DMIRS.
The
Also known
DIRS.
as the IRS.
Yeah. Although at a game, I will say, I was looking at what she had, Sous Chef, and I was like, oh, this poor soul. He needs something.
I mean, like,
He needs
you remember, you remember how you gave me, like, okay, at the very start, you can have items up to this power, and I was
Right.
like, cool. And then I proceeded to ask for things that were much lower than that,
Yeah.
because it was in character for him to not have
Exactly.
the really powerful ones.
Exactly.
An honorable man he was, Bishop.
An honorable soul you are. Now, he looks over at you, Daytona, and says, I picked out a couple of things, but I need to get an understanding of how exactly you intend to approach the method of approach you wish to take with Tremor. Are you going to be fighting at the front with that steed of yours? Or are you going to be staying towards the back and keeping yourself safe?
I'm going to be with them.
That's
So,
not what I asked.
no.
I don't care if you're with them. I need to know what method you plan to take. That will determine what I loan to you.
All right, I'll just ask this question very quickly. Are either one of these methods related to my steed?
Yes.
Which one?
Being up in the front.
Hornet's fin to the front.
Alright. He will reach in and he will pull out a small, what looks like a parcel that is just plates of armor, about this big. That's just kind of stacked on top of each other, very thin plates of armor. And he will give it over to you. When you get back to your steed, have them touch this. This armor is enchanted in a very specific way. I understand that you have a very special kind of saddle that you use alongside them.
Yeah.
This armor has stipulations. It doubles as both armor and saddle, so you'd have to use this instead of the saddle that you currently use. However, your steed will be hardy against all types of damage, and they will gain almost a shell of armor around them that will take the impacts for them before they take any sort of damage.
So, hold on. This is
So
something that would.
this is a magic item of my own making.
Hmm.
This is devil shell mount armor, quote unquote. In parentheses, mount armor.
This is the saddle of horse.
So the armor doubles as both a saddle and armor for the horse. That was my sister. It acts as plate armor +2. It gives resistance against. It essentially gives resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. It's essentially totem barbarian armor. He gains resistance against all armor, all damage except psychic. And in addition, when the armor is activated, he gains a 30 temp HP shell around him. So it's just essentially, it's like you're already strong and you'll probably survive. Your horse won't. Here's something to save your horse. That can only be done once per long rest. You'll look over at you, Ophelia. For you, there's a couple of things, actually. The first is that you are still more or less bound to the fate of the Fifth, and I'm not sure if you fully understand that.
Not really.
One of the things that I've come to realize, at least in my studies, is when the Fifth chooses champions, it is not of their own volition. And getting rid of such a curse is not so easily done. I would like to help you in freeing yourself from that curse. But it is a very, very taxing endeavor, and it could kill you. But I also believe that the reason you are not as far along with your... Oh, am I quiet? You can just say that. You can cut me off.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, apparently...
We can hear you just fine.
Apparently to Luke, I'm quiet. Well, then lower the music.
Yeah, Lucas.
Maybe return your
McCheesy.
computer.
But I believe that the reason you are not as far along with your gift is because you are still stained. And I think that by removing that stain, we can push you along to the final stage of your gifts. To the final stage of your gift.
Well, if that's the case, then it's a risk worth taking.
There is another thing that I wish to present to you, again, as a loan. I think you might have met him before, actually. He'll snap his fingers, and the imp will appear.
It's Mafia.
He'll say, could you bring him in, please, and make sure he has the item with him? Nods. The imp will fly out. There'll be a moment of silence. Before, not Mafi.
Larn.
But
It's fucking Mirembrin.
But a very a man you've only met one time back in Nightshan.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of cautiously hobbles in. And in his possession, he's holding a very ornate box. He will look at all and say, hello. It's been quite a while. For those of you who remember, there was a magic item salesman. Sorry, this would have been Lunaris, not in.
Okay. I know who it is.
It was in an episode that unfortunately didn't get aired because I was an idiot and I didn't turn on my microphone. But this is Helix from Lunaris and Jose. It has been quite a while, hasn't it? I do not blame you if you don't remember me.
What are you doing here?
I have many friends all over the place.
Apparently.
And he will approach, and this friend has requested an item that he put into my safekeeping some time ago for you. And he'll set the glass case in front of you. It is a very decorative, beautiful set of gray robes.
Yup, it's either Mafia with the staff, or it's probably this guy with the robes.
You'll, as you all kind of take stock of him now, his whole physique is shifted quite dramatically from when you saw him in the shop. And his skin is a bit more blue. Smile. Well, oh, hang on, Luke's back.
He was chit-chatting in the chat. Being excited about Larn.
Yeah, unfortunately not Lauren.
Lord Leonor was a fucking devil that time.
Leonor.
He's actually the archdevil of overtime.
He's the archdevil of capitalism.
True name is Warren Leotard.
But yeah. Luke, are you back? Unmute yourself.
Hi. I don't know if you saw this, but I can hear you fine in Zoom, but you're a bit quiet on the stream itself.
I will turn up my mic a little bit. There we go. A little more. There you go. So you're good right now? You heard everything?
I know I came back to capitalism. Also, there's a merchant from Lunaris that
remember Helix?
Yeah.
The one that's him.
Oh, I do remember. Okay.
Yeah. The one that talks like this.
The one that talks like that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. He has presented Ophelia with a very special gift, and will kind of take a bow and say, "Well, I must be returning to the shop. There are a number of matters that need be attended to. Goodbye." Kind of give awkwardly long eye contact before walking away.
Never knew that guy was a friend here. Never would have expected him to be here.
He's been around for a while. Well, his family's been around for a while. Anyway, he'll motion to the box and says, "I presume you know what these are?"
Yep, came in contact with them once before.
Well, as I said, these are a loan, and Helix would like them back.
Well, we'll need them after this is all over.
It's up to you if you'd like to don it now or not. Or do you want to know what they do? Do you know what Rose the Archmage do?
I know I don't need mage armor anymore.
You do not need
That's
mage
all
armor anymore. I'll tell you exactly what it does. Hang on. Robes.
You have advantage on saving throws against spell or other magical effects, and your spell save DC and spell attack bonus increased by 2.
And you have a 13. You have a constant 13 plus your dexterity
15.
and armor class.
15
plus your dexterity and armor class.
Whoa! I finally break 15 in armor class?
I know, right?
Woo!
Remember when I broke it like way before and I'm like, I sell all my rings of fucking protection to other people? Oh.
However, so on to the second matter. This could take a moment. I'm not going to... You can all rest assured you're not going to have to fight anything. This will be a struggle, but more a struggle of the soul than of combat. Follow me, please. And he will get
I
up.
will follow.
You may all be present if you wish.
I guess.
Yeah, I'll be present. Why not?
Thank you, Morton.
I do wish.
He will take you over to a door next to the at the opposite side of this library / study / meeting room. And he will kind of place his hand on the door for a moment, and there will be a number of symbols that begin to glow. And then you start to see ley lines, or you start to see lines that begin connecting the symbols at different points. And he'll remove his hand. Door will open, and you will find yourselves into what is very easily discerned as a ritual room. There's natural light in here, but there's also candles that are burning, with this sort of odd blackish red tinge. In the center is a circle, not unlike circles you've seen before when performing rituals. And he will make his way inside. Motion to the circle. For you, Ophelia.
Gotta go in that circle.
Now, when I say
boys.
this is taxing, I mean it is going to eat away at your soul. But it is... You seem like a rather hardy individual. Not so much in the physical, but I think you will at least come away with this better off than most.
Well, let's get to it then.
Alright. He will ask if you would like to lend your strength to this. Please stand at one side of the circle.
Yes.
I would.
EM gets fed up and tells you cast guidance.
Is this a check thing?
This is several checks.
Okay, then I will cast guidance.
Can only one person help, or can multiple people try to lend their strength to Ophelia?
It'll be multiple people, but only one person per check.
Okay.
So he will kind kind of rest his hand on the floor for a moment, and you'll see the circle begins to glow, and he'll look at all of you and will just say, "Now, to be completely transparent, this is the only time I've ever attempted something like this. So forgive me if it is not exact." And he'll kind of concentrate his energies, and lines begin to kind of spread out from the middle circle and begin igniting symbols on the ground. Ophelia, as you're sitting there and concentrating, just kind of waiting for something to happen, you're not really feeling anything. For the rest of you, you start to watch as there is a soft plume of smoke beginning to come off of her back. I'm gonna change the music real quick. This is too not intense. Hang on. Let's start eventually. There we go. Everyone can hear that? Or do I need to turn it up a little bit? I'll turn it up more. Okay. That should be fine. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's time for dark music again.
Sounds like catacombs, dog.
Well, more the music that was used when you guys first saw the 5th. As you kind of stare ahead of you, Ophelia, the room around you begins to sink. And you just kind of see your vision getting narrower and narrower and narrower until it's but a pin of light in your vision. And just kind of absently you start to feel your consciousness drift away from you as you begin to fall forward. And you just keep falling deeper and deeper, though you can't move. Your breathing is steady, but your vision just remains locked in front of you on that singular point. I'd like you, with guidance, to go ahead and make me a wisdom check.
Okay, let's see here. Saving throw or just like check?
This is just a check. It's a wisdom check.
Okay, so what's 15 total.
Okay. As energies on the external begin to kind of wrap around Ophelia's body, you, after falling a bit more, kind of begin to feel yourself becoming more aware of the immediate surroundings. And in a brief moment you hit. Not hard, but you make impact into something that almost cradles your fall. And then you feel yourself being hoisted upwards. The rest of you watch as, from the smoke, there's a face that begins to rise up. Very similar to the entity that some of you fought when you were back at the Fragrant Anomaly in Lunaris. As you're kind of sitting there in that emptiness, Ophelia, you hear what sounds like gentle footfalls. As you kind of look ahead, there is a soft outline of a figure that you can't quite see. It'll say, "Why do you deny us? To what end do you wish to achieve?"
To stop your meddling in our world, of course.
You were the one who let us in, and now you so willingly give up all the gifts that we gave you, the purpose that was set before you. I'd like you to go ahead and make this is going to be an intelligence save, which should be super easy for you.
I nat 20 them.
Perfect. This was not the part that I thought you were going to have issue with.
Yeah. So that's 33. Does that save, Eric?
Yeah, it's just barely. Actually, 35 is actually what you
Yeah. That was a pretty hard one, man.
Sorry. You were granted a gift. You were chosen, and you will not so easily be rid of us. And as you all watch on the outside as this figure begins to plume upwards, almost taking the same mass of as it had before, and as it does so, you see its hands kind of sharpen into claws as they fire downward into Ophelia's chest. Ophelia, simultaneously, you kind of feel the wind get knocked out of you as there is just this heat and pain beginning to resonate. I need you to go ahead and make me 2 Constitution checks, not saving throws.
That is a plus 3, 14 and a 22.
14 and a 22, okay. And remember, anyone can interject at any point as I'm talking. When I'm saying that a check can be made, someone can say, "I'm going to try to do this to help."
I was just gonna ask after this check was made if it would be available if I were to be able to give Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, of course. So as you see the claws fire outward and go into her chest, what do you say?
Stay strong, Ophelia. We're here before you.
Ophelia, you'll hear those. Would you like to add a d12 to either of your rolls?
D12 to the lower one.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That is a 7 plus 7. What did I roll again? I forget.
Roll a 14.
14.
14 plus 7, 21.
So through Dayton's help, because you rolled 1 under what you needed to roll, you managed to stave off a point of exhaustion. You see the figure kind of begins to plume upwards, almost becoming this is on the inside, becoming a mass that threatens to suffocate you. And it will say, "What are you? Nothing but a scared little girl. Someone trying to be something they aren't. With us, you could be more. With us, you could be everything, have everything you could ever want."
I think you're just projecting your own wishes on me.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Hell yeah, I'm good at that.
You are good at these.
Okay,
Guidance.
my second
guidance?
lucky is gone, so that is a 30 plus 8, so that's a then the guidance. That is a 2, so 23 total.
23, okay.
We all believe in you.
As the entity kind of begins to try to rip inward towards Ophelia, you all watch as the artifact in Ophelia's possession begins to glow. And as it does so, it begins kind of pushing against the darkness that is beginning to surround her. And you see Malteris go, that's not what I was expecting to happen. The energy from the artifact begins to, almost as if it's another hand reaching out and pulling, it's beginning to rip that energy away. And Ophelia, that tightness and that heat in your chest is met with another tightness, this one at your side, as it feels like something is tugging on you. As this begins to happen, your whole world almost is beginning to shake. And in an instant, you start to watch, it's just at the edges of your vision, that sort of chaotic world that you had been in before begins to manifest around you. And it starts to manifest that same platform that you'd seen before. I need you to go ahead and make me, which one was this one? This one was, I need another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 11 plus 8, that's 19.
19? Okay, so you're going to suffer 1 point of exhaustion.
Hell no.
It is exhaustion in the sense you're not going to be at disadvantage on checks, but your body and mind are starting to wear out.
Uh-huh.
So you're not, I'm not going to do that like, oh, you're now at disadvantage to saving throws, ha ha ha. Like, you just, in this moment, you start to feel, even though you feel like your mind is holding steady, there is a tremor across your mind, and you start to feel another influence pushing in that you're able to stave off for now, but it's there, and you can feel it. For the rest of you, you see one of those claws, another strand of shadow begins to wind its way up and starts to encircle itself around Ophelia's neck.
Guidance.
Alright, so she'll be guidance for the next check, for the next one. As the vision fully manifests before you, that darkened shadow, that shadowed figure that you couldn't quite make out, stands before you, looking down at you. Again, just a figure you don't recognize before it dissipates, and you look in front of you and you see, standing unchained, the full majesty of the Fifth before you. As it reaches through, its hand, where once was a barrier, now just seamlessly passes through. And you start, completely involuntarily, your heart starts to race in your chest as this massive hand reaches out towards your body. Please go ahead and make me another wisdom saving throw.
Eight, 27, 30 total.
30 total. All right. As the hand kind of reaches outward, all of you watch as the artifact begins kind of ripping more of the shadow away, getting about up to about the shoulder on her right side. As it reaches forward, Ophelia, you kind of stare it down for a moment as the hand impacts into something that you can't quite see. And you will hear a voice. You will hear a voice in your mind just go, "What do you have? Truly, what do you have?"
Nothing left to lose.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check this time, because this is going to be an interesting little part, I think.
Before you make that roll, I am gonna burn another use of Bardic Inspiration.
Another use of Bardic
This
Inspiration.
time, just screaming out, "If you can't kick this thing's ass, I will! We'll all do it! Just keep at it!"
Okay, so that's 21 plus 6.
Trying to do
27.
my homework.
27 total.
27 total. You concentrate for a moment, and as you speak these words, you watch kind of manifesting a bit before you. You see just a hand just pushing against it. And for a moment, you kind of stay quiet as these energies begin kind of slowly, very slowly, and almost with a gentle touch, push the visage of the fifth backwards. And you'll hear another voice in your mind go, "Do you truly think you can be rid of all the resentment, all of the anger that you've wrought? Do you truly believe those around you have forgiven you? Do you truly believe that your relationships will stand after all this is done? That you'll not be abandoned?" Go ahead.
No one truly forgive me, then I'll just try and move forward on my own. Always have.
Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw, please.
That's my third lucky.
Oh, anyone want to throw something in here?
Guidance.
20.
Pat on the back.
23 so far. Plus 3, 20, 26. Yeah, that was a nat 1, which I re-rolled into a 15. This is like, I'm just like, yeah, my dice aren't very happy today.
As you're hearing these voices kind of invade into your mind, and you kind of steady yourself against it, the voices begin to recede, and as you sort of take a moment just kind of steadying yourself, you feel one hand touch your shoulder, and then another, and then another. For the rest of you, the shadowed being at this point is struggling to keep itself manifested, as the energies from the artifact are at this point almost entirely encasing it. As you open your eyes, Ophelia, you see the faces of your companions that have traveled with you for so long, kind of gently holding on to you with a smile. And as you glance back, you see another group of people, your family, except for one, kind of holding on to you tightly. You see your father, tears in his eyes, similar to when he first saw you back at the Fragrant Anomaly, holding on to you. You see your sister with the same sort of bright, beautiful smile that she's greeted you with every time you've seen her. As you look back forward, you see the angered, hateful look of your mother fists clenched in anger. You see this sort of blood beginning to pool in her hands as she clenches them in rage. She says, you fucking worthless creature. And as she does so, she reaches out towards you, and you feel her hands grab through your chest, almost gripping at your heart. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
It's good.
This is straight, I believe, because you have Warcaster.
I do not have Warcaster.
Oh, that's right, you don't have Warcaster. You just have a really high con save.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do one more Bardic Inspiration if it hasn't been used. Actually, I was gonna say I'll need to confirm with David whether or not he used that Bardic Inspiration.
I already used it.
All right, then that'll be number 3. And instead of it being words, it's merely action. Between the Wime's Will armor and the rapier, I'm essentially just holding up the artifact, trying to almost symbolically try to keep aloft the light that's surrounded her.
As this has happened, by the way, the same time, Ophelia, as it pushed into your heart, the rest of you watched as the creature went from its grandiose form to almost a spear, a shadowed spear that coils around and just stabs Ophelia straight through the chest, out the other side. What'd you roll, Ophelia?
27 total with the Bardic.
27 total. All right. As you feel the hand reach into you, and you just stare down, eyes just locked with yours. You see the third hand reaches, grabs on to the arm, and as you look over, you see the face of your brother, taking and pulling the hand away before shoving the entity deep into the darkness before it completely fades from your vision. As for the rest of you, you watch as the energies off of the artifact weave their way up, and just gently poking out from underneath the hood, you see Ravioli, who kind of attaches on to the remaining shadow, and with the help of the artifact, pulls the last bit of it away until you watch as it manifests. It's a void-like sphere in the air, at which point Malteris kind of concentrates for a moment, and you watch as his whole body begins to glow with arcane energy as he puts one final push of energy through. These symbols begin to glow and reach up, encompassing the sphere, before eventually swallowing it completely. And it blinks out of existence, and you watch as he immediately goes to his knees. Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Ophelia, at which point your vision kind of clarifies, and you find yourself within the circle, back in the ritual room.
Is it finally over?
As you say that, I'm going to give you your final handout.
Hell yeah. Simulacrums is giving me a thumbs up, just like, hell yeah.
Like you did good.
Yeah, I could have used my 17, but don't worry about it.
Although, to be fair, I don't think you could have teleported here with a simulacrum. I don't think that would have flown.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's still, like... I guess it's still in the base, or whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and give you your final handout. Save changes, if you'd like to read it.
Let me check. Exalted. Silverrods, which...
Eventually he'll read it, guys. Eventually.
Exalted. Healing is now increased to 4d6, and range is increased to 60 feet from the banner. Alternatively, you can choose to split the healing effect, restoring 2d6 of health to 2 creatures. Anyone within the range of the banner when one of its abilities activates gains their level in temp HP. This can only be used once as part of the healing effect. You gain 1 piece of the ritual of calling. Once all 4 exalted artifacts are joined, you may perform the ritual of calling and bring the power forward to aid you.
Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and get you that really quick. And there you go. So, that's everyone now.
We're all exalted?
You're all exalted.
We're all salted.
We're all salt.
Yay. I'm salty.
Well, by the end of it as well. I think that's about enough for today. I'll return you to your home, and you all can begin making your preparations.
Thank you for all you've done for us.
As I said, those are loans. I will expect them back. If you do not return them, I will make sure that your next of kin and your kin after them will be paying the price.
Just as long as you make sure to send them a mailing address where they should be putting it first, you know.
Yes, I will inform them as to where it should be returned to. We will return you all back to the study and say, well, I will try to send you back from here. I presume you don't want to try your hand at the waters again.
Yeah.
Probably not a great idea.
Well, best of luck, favored few. And I will be interested to see how all of this plays out. And he will put his hand forward and concentrate a bit of energy, as there is that same sort of symbol that appears in the air, and he opens a gateway very similar to the one you guys entered from. After you.
It's important.
Yep.
All of you make your way out, and as you do so, you see you are slightly off from where you were before. You're a little higher up the mountain, maybe about 40, 50 more feet up. And you are free to return back to your home, and I think that's where we can call the session for today.
Yay.
Alright.
We got stuff and things.
You get stuff and things.
We got buttons and bows.
We got
Ophelia is no longer possessed. Or something.
That's exactly what it was. It was just, like, you guys defeated the effigy of it, but you did not defeat the stain that was on Ophelia's soul.
Ugh.
You have dry cleaned one soul.
Dry clean the soul, yep. Anyway, we'll pick this up next Saturday. We don't have much left. We're getting there. We're pretty close. But until then, we'll see you next time. And as always, links everything downstairs.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Sorry for technical